Either you fuck with me or you don't. This is the attitude that you need to become more likable, popular, high status, and all of the other things that you secretly desire. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. But first, I do want you to like me, so please, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Today we're going to talk about the type of approach that you can use that counterintuitively draws more people in. I just actually reshot this video because my microphone wasn't attached, and I recorded a whole video with horrible sound quality because I had no microphone. But I just got right back up on the horse, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lesson for you. You just take your L's and move on. Quit dwelling on the past. Didn't work out. Whole document got deleted. Well, I guess you got to write the paper all over again, right? Good ethos for life. Anyways, the more you have the attitude that you want to participate only with the people who want what you have to offer in all aspects of your life, the better off you're going to be, and counterintuitively, the much better and abundant a sphere of influence you're going to have. Right? So everything that I've been talking about on this channel primarily relates to what? Caveman brain, primitive instinctual behavior patterns, most of which are centered around the idea of status. We crave status, acceptance, validation, and all the above. And, you know, with the culture that we live in now, especially with social media, it's getting worse. So I've been studying a lot. Like, I've been moving a lot more towards kind of ideas of contentment and spirituality and self-image and self-awareness, and looking at your own belief systems and primarily trying to fix yourself, because, you know, in many ways the world is fucked. So you got to fix yourself as the individual, and one of the ways is to come up with kind of core values and principles for what you want in your life, and anybody who's cool with it, like, cool. But if they're not, no skin off your nose either, right? So more and more I've just kind of come to the attitude that either you fuck with me or you don't, right? The more that you seek for everyone to like you, like cliche, can't please everyone, you try to please everyone, you please no one, the more you kind of figure out who you are, move into your strengths and move into your lane, the better off your life is going to be, right? So what you don't want to do is alter yourself to be how other people want you to be, but at the same time, you don't want to be like so crazy and idiosyncratic that you can't relate to anybody, right? So what do? You figure out what you like to do. I'm a writer. I like communicating. I like media. I like ideas. I like philosophy, spirituality, self-help. That's kind of my zone that I stay in. There are a lot of people who aren't really into that, and those are people I just don't interact with. And then there's an overlap of people who may not share every single thing I believe, but they like kind of the same things, and that's where we meet. And that's how you build an audience. That's how you build a network. That's how you build the right type of friendships and relationships. Just begin to take kind of a either you fuck with me or you don't attitude, right? So what do most people do? We crave acceptance, love, and we push this needy energy out into the world, right? You know, it's counterintuitive, right? The more you want a certain outcome to happen, a certain person to like you, a certain fan base to like you, the less they will, because needy energy just reeks off of you into the universe, and it's just a horrible stench of the need for validation that repels people away from you. So the more you focus on what you want for your life, and people can come into it whether or not you like it or they like it, then you're good. And then you focus on the people who actually want to be with you, who actually want to be a part of your community. So I have a tribe of people who like my work. There are other content creators that are more popular than me, that have way bigger numbers than me. I don't want to be those people. I want to be me. I want to have my channel. I don't want to have to become someone else to have what they have. Like, you understand, if you envy somebody, you have to want to be that person in order to have what they have. You have to want to do the amount of work they do. You have to have the attitude and circumstances and environment they have, verbatim, wholesale. You can't just take the part that you want. So, A, you might not really even want what other people have. And B, you have no choice. You have to be yourself. No matter how much you daydream about being someone else, you have to be yourself. So figure out who you are and then invite people into kind of your sphere of influence. If they're cool with it, they're cool. If they're not, they're not. And the more you kind of take a take it or leave it approach attitude to the way you operate in life, then more people will just start to fuck with you anyways, right? We're always, people are always chasing, right? Who are the people who get the most love and acceptance? The indifferent people. The bad boy, the bad girl, the cavalier person who really could care less what you think about them, right? That's the lane you want to be in. The less you actually care what people think about you, then the more they all want to be around you. It's so weird, and it's hard to adopt. And you just want to start putting the right energy out into the world and just lowering your expectations about what to get back. Like, I know for a fact that I put out tons and tons and tons and tons of free content, and only 2 to 5% of people will ever support me financially. I don't get butthurt about the fact that a very, very small number of people will ever buy. I just accept that as part of the game. I love what I do anyways. I would do it for free anyways. And that 2 to 5% pulled from a large enough bucket is more than enough to create a career, right? So there's the idea of 1,000 true fans. You only need 1,000 people who really, 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 really enjoy what you do to support you financially in order to have a career. You don't need to be everyone. You don't need to have a mass following. I don't need to be a mass social media influencer. I don't need to pretend to be something I'm not just to get a bunch of likes and followers and views. I don't need to create some caricature of myself that I think people want to get them to like me. I can just be myself. I have my own idiosyncratic way of viewing the world, my own mannerisms, my own thoughts, my own beliefs, my own way of being Ayo. And if I tried to be someone else other than me and got the reward, well, it would just make me feel like a fraud, right? Because some people do fake who they are and they do get the rewards, and people do think they're this caricature and they do end up playing a character. But then you realize that nobody actually likes you. They like the caricature. They don't know the real you. So this is why many lanes to success often do end up empty, because you don't build them on the foundation of being yourself. You don't build them on the foundation of staying true to what you want and allowing people to decide whether or not they want to be a part of it. Like, I love people who follow me. I get more and more. The sphere is growing. It's great. But then it gets to a certain point where it's like, it took for my following to get big to a certain point to realize that that's not why I was doing it in the first place. Like, I got it and I was like, okay, it feels good to have a whole bunch of people read my stuff. But then I realized, what's the first thing I did after my writing channel kind of popped? I wanted to start all over and start this nothing YouTube channel where nobody knows me. These Instagram videos where I'm getting 37 views, because I kind of like that more. Like, I realize I'm just in the game for the game. And when you start doing things for the sake of doing them, then you get all the trappings anyway. Like, I'm going to write a bunch of books in my lifetime, do a bunch of things, and there's going to be financial byproducts to that, status byproducts to that, audience byproducts, but that's not why I'm doing it. I really love to write. I really love to just run my fucking mouth. I really am just fascinated and infinitely curious about the human condition. So I just express that in the form of writing and media, and some people happen to like it. I didn't set out to get the fans. That was never my goal. I didn't even know this was a thing you could do in the beginning. Someone just said, hey, you can go write, and that was enough for me. And so I'm just getting more into my center. Like, either you fuck with me or you don't. And counterintuitively, if you embrace that attitude, you'll have a much more abundant and fruitful circle than you would have taking the other route. Okay, that's the end of the video. You know the deal. Like all my stuff or don't. I don't give a fuck.